Hey, thanks for coming to my video. Sounds like you're having a hard time starting your dream. I know exactly how you feel. For most of my life, it was the same way. First things first, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. My name is Derek. I'm 30 years old this month. Well, yeah, probably in July. I don't know when this video is going to come out, but hopefully by the end of June. But I'm 30 years old. I created the YouTube channel Dare Blue along with one other, and the goal of the channel is to prove to all of us that the journey, if you will, of trying to follow your dream and take the risk is going to be something that pays off long term for us. I am a firefighter who is currently training to be a paramedic, and I'm also documenting being a professional golfer. So if you're interested in watching me actually put what I'm about to share with you to work and seeing for yourself that this is the way forward, I would love if you subscribed to my channel and supported me along the way as I support you. So that leads me to the first step, and this is the most important, so we're going to start here. You got to get your mind right. And I know that seems a little confusing. You know, what is this guy talking about, get my mind right? I obviously want it bad enough to watch your stupid video. That's not really what I mean. What I mean by get your mind right is you have to come up with something that is so true to you as a person that no matter what the obstacle is that comes in front of you, you're never gonna quit it. For me, weirdly, it's golf and my fiance. Luckily, I'm somehow juggling the two of them, but that's a video for a different day. Ultimately, golf became something that was just kind of a hobby at first, but it taught me really quickly that perfection is not something that we humans really can achieve. We can get damn close, but it's always just out of grasp. And something about the poetic nature of that really attracted to me. And in golf, along with a lot of other jobs and dreams, they give you glimpses of if I put enough time into it, I'll get something in return. So weirdly enough, I'm just designed to have golf be my one thing. For you, it might be, you know, cataloging pennies by date, or I don't know, creating a business. You know, maybe you're the next person to create a social media empire. I don't know. That's for you to know, but it has to be true to your soul, and it has to resonate with the overarching goal that you want accomplished with it. Long story short, and more summarized, is you need to focus entirely on the why am I doing this, and let the how am I doing this figure itself out. Let's talk about me, because that's the only person here that I can talk about that I know. Golf, especially at my age, is not something that's going to easily be performed by a person who can just pick up and become a professional in a matter of months or whatever, but I'm going to challenge that, and by simply wanting it bad enough, according to all the books, we can get it. And I'm gonna put it to the test, trust me. And if you're interested in watching that journey, please follow my channel, because that's the ultimate goal of this channel, is to put an idea, a really crazy idea, to work and watch it pay out for us. My two goals are: one, create a very successful YouTube channel, and two, become a professional golfer and also a paramedic. But that's, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm kind of getting a little long-winded here, so let's rewind. So once you found your why, if you will, the thing that you want to do, we're gonna have to talk about the hardest thing of all, and that is yourself. And I mean this with all honesty. The only thing that's going to stop you from achieving your goal is yourself. And it's going to get really crafty and creative in how it tries to stop you. Your brain is a beautiful, beautiful tool that can create and destroy. And I need you to be aware of something moving forward, that this is something that might resonate to some of you, but long story short, the way our bodies stay alive is through something called homeostasis. And what homeostasis is that your body has to find an equilibrium. It has to be balanced. We all came up in this world different ways and different, you know, paths and all that, and we all adapted to the world differently. So our bodies are chemically similar but different, and that's important because of this. When you take that first step forward, it's going to feel different, and it's going to feel exhilarating at first, but then it's going to start to feel uncomfortable. You are transitioning from the person you used to be into the person that you want to be, and this is a spiritual journey more than it is a physical journey. And that sounds really kind of silly, but just hear me out. Your body gets used to making chemicals. Your body gets used to reacting to chemicals and stimulus and all of these things to a point where it does it automatically. As we get older, we become more physically in tune with the world because we've experienced so much of the world, if that makes sense. So if you're somebody who stresses out easily, your body becomes chemically addicted to being stressed. That chemical addiction, once you start trying to transition into your goal, that chemical addiction is going to upset you in weird ways. Your body is going to not be as stressed. When you're not as stressed, your body is no longer in equilibrium to what it's used to. It's going to then try to simulate stresses. It's going to tell you very crafty and very subtle ways to stress you out, to recreate the cortisol and other hormones that produce the feelings you're used to so that you feel whole. And this is something that I need you to be painfully aware of when you are taking your journey. Your body and mind are going to kind of trick you into staying your past self. It's something that you're only gonna have to experience, and when you experience it, please trust me when I tell you, it's all just in your head. If you wanna push through that barrier, you just have to put your head down and keep pushing into the unknown. And that's why it's so important that you take step one very, very seriously. You cannot just pick something that's going to either make you rich one day or give you that job that you've always wanted or get the girl or guy that you've always had, eyes for. It's never going to work because of rule 2. And rule 2 is never treat anything in this life with a means to an end. And what that means is if you are engaging in a relationship with somebody or taking a job opportunity or promoting some sort of product or something in order to achieve some sort of overarching goal, like an example would be if I wanted to talk to a girl to eventually, take her to bed or whatever the case, I am treating that individual with a means, the treating her right, to an end, which is the satisfaction of, obviously taking her home. That is a violation of the core number rule 2. If you're going to a work or a job only for a paycheck, you're in violation of rule 2. You have to make sure that rule 2 is something that you follow. When you start your journey and your goal, you want something to have no end, no limits, and no possibilities for finishing. What that means also is this YouTube channel is a great example, and paramedicine is a good example. If I just joined the fire department to be a firefighter, I would be breaking my rule 2. And that would be, I would just be going to work to fight fires, do basic life support stuff, get a paycheck, and do that for 25 years and retire. That violates my means to an end. The means is my job, helping my community. The end is retirement. We work so we can't work. It's kind of weird, but transitioning into paramedicine, there's no longer a means to an end. I am learning about the human body so that I can always help the human body. And for as long as I'm alive and you're alive, we're good. We're gonna be humans. So there is no end in that. If I do fall in love with medicine, then my YouTube channel is probably gonna take a back seat and I'm gonna probably follow it into being a doctor, most likely. Ultimately, what I'm saying is your goal mustn't have an end so that you're always on the journey. Let's talk another example about, let's say you wanna open a bakery. Opening the bakery is an end, right? Your means are whatever it takes to open a bakery, and then opening the bakery is the end. You've achieved your goal. That's awesome until it's not, right? You're gonna wanna do something next. What's the next step? What do I do now? I feel like I'm stagnating. So let the goal be being about baking, and then fall in love with the process of baking. And eventually you might have like a baking empire, or even more cool would be like a baking culinary school. Think of it more along the lines of, if I devote myself to the process, the outcome is never ending. So that's an important rule that I want you to follow. And that leads us into our third rule. The third rule is that every human being on this earth is your ally. They are a teammate to you, and they are there to be use to help you and them succeed forward. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like it kind of violates rule 2, right? Never have a means to an end. A human relationship should not have an end also. You and I are forming a relationship right now. You know, if there was somebody to come up, they would become, you know, a friend of mine, because at the end of the day, we are all on a journey and we're all on a path to somewhere. And that somewhere is kind of the point of no end, right? If you don't have a destination, then we don't have an end. And any person that comes into your life, trust me, whether even if they, trust me, I hear you, you've got somebody who teases you or bullies you, or, you know, whatever the case may be, I challenge you to look at it differently, because that person who is bullying you or teasing you is actually giving you secret, like subtle hints to things that can make you powerful, very powerful. An example that I have, because those are the only examples I can give you, was I used to be just way too energetic, and I'm sure you can tell through the camera, and it would be off-putting to a lot of people, and I'd get teased really bad, especially when the first part of my life was spent in special ed for anxiety. Once I transitioned out of special ed and got into the real world, I realized pretty quickly that kids definitely speak their mind. And I took it personally for a long time, until I realized that they are giving me the secret code to being a stronger person. If I'm too energetic, I can't fix that, it's who I am, but I can come off less energetically, if that makes sense, right? Here's a good example. These videos that you're watching from me, right? I spent a lot of time recording the first episode of my journey to being a professional golfer, and I spent a freaking ton of time editing it, putting my heart and soul into it, and I think it only got like 120 views. If my goal, and it is, to have a successful YouTube channel, but if that was the end, right? It's not the end. But if having a successful YouTube channel was the end, getting 120 views would derail me. It would discourage me, and I won't lie to you, it did. But then I remembered there's no end to this journey, right? So I promise you, one day, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's 10 years from now, this video right now, even though there's probably 24 views as you're watching it, there's probably 24, I'm pretty positive there's gonna be probably around that. I bet you 6 months from now, there'll be 2,500 views, which is unbelievable to this guy. On account of my highest views is like 160 or whatever it is right now. All I'm saying, you know, we're off tracking again. Long story short, don't have an end to it. Humans are always your friends, even your enemies. I promise you, you're just gonna have to put that one into practice to really try to prove me wrong on that one, and then tell me I'm wrong. Because I promise you, you're gonna have a hard time proving me wrong on that one. The more you give to people, the more they're gonna come back and give to you. And an example of that again is my first video. I think 80% of the views are people that I actually talked to. Like, I don't think there was really many random views from it. This one hopefully does a little better, because it's the idea is for us to grow together. But yeah, that's gonna lead us into another big one, is your insecurities. You will have many, I promise you that. Being in the fire department, we have like a little sub-community and a subculture that we hold very dear to us. Unless you've been a first responder, nobody understands what it's like to be a first responder. And in that isolation, we have community, right? And if you get exiled from that community, or if you become ostracized from that community, it's horrifying, because you no longer have an outlet for this very difficult job, if that makes sense to you. So a big insecurity I had when I uploaded my first YouTube video was what the fire department people were going to think of me. And you're going to probably struggle with this as well, but ultimately what I can tell you is this. It's really all in your head. The amount of support I've been given is infinitely more than the amount of dejection and condensation, or condemnation, whatever the word is, you know what I mean? It's been more positive than it's been negative. And I hoped it would be that case, but it turned out to also kind of be that case. But as the YouTube channel grows, who's to say where that is going to change? I don't know. I have no idea. Which is going to lead me to the next point. Always and only focus on right now. You know, I want you to change your focus now to what you're doing right now. You're watching me and this beautiful river here. On June 23rd, possibly later, I don't know, whenever this video comes out. But you're right here, right now. Forget the future. I cannot challenge you this enough. The future will happen whether you want it to or not. The question is, how much guidance do you want to give your path, right? If you want to open a bakery, the day will come when the bakery opens. So until then, focus on baking. For me being a professional golfer and a YouTuber, yes, I have 20 subscribers and I think I have a total channel views of like 220 now, right? And you're only a small person one time. In your journey, you're only the bottom dog for one fraction of the journey, if that makes sense. So enjoy it. You know, relish in it, because if you really do commit yourself to the process, it's impossible for you to not see results in the direction of your journey. Now, how much dedication and devotion you put into it will speed up your journey depending on, you know, how much energy and time you put into it. But ultimately, you're gonna see progress in the right direction. Whether it's fast or slow, I don't know. That's up to the greater powers. You're gonna have to trust that as well, right? Once you set forth on your journey, just focus on right now. And right now, I'm filming a video and you're watching the video. When this video ends, or even right now, I want you to focus on your goal, your mission, your dream. Focus on that right now. And don't think about the future of it. If you think about all of the what ifs and the how comes and the why won't I's and the oh I'll never do them, I promise you you're gonna never start to move forward. Which leads me to my next tip. Perfection is an illusion. No matter how bad we want something, and this is a reason why I'm dressed this way, is because I knew that if I didn't start recording right now, I was gonna continue to put it off until I had the right outfit, the right weather, the right shooting location, and this is the 4th time I've had to go somewhere. Trying to find a place to shoot actually took a lot longer than I thought, but we're digressing again. If you try to make it perfect, you're gonna get nowhere. If you just start moving forward, perfection follows from just sheer exposure. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid to just start. Focus on what you can do right now and let the things that you can't do right now just come to you in time naturally, okay? All right, now that I think I've gotten the bulk of that out of the way, let's talk about some things I've used to help keep me on track as I've gone down this journey. The first one is, well, actually before that, I do have some advice for you before you truly start to go on the journey. The first thing is I would suggest not telling really many people about it, if not anybody at all. Here's what tends to happen, and I need you to understand that this is a subconscious reaction that the person is almost entirely unaware that they're doing. You're gonna get excited about this, obviously, and as you get closer to actually pulling the trigger and pursuing this goal of yours, you're gonna tell a friend or a family member or your best friend or whoever it may be, your dog. What's gonna happen in most cases is they're going to subconsciously tell you why it's not going to work. And this is an interesting human behavior aspect that I've noticed and that I've experienced firsthand. And the ultimate understanding that I have of it is they just don't understand how that dream can be achieved by a normal person. Typically, people have this notion that it's given to you or it just manifests overnight. In reality, that is absolutely not the case. The first 20 plus things that you produce are most likely not going to get the feedback you want, and that's going to challenge your why am I doing this to a point that nothing else will. So that's why number one is so important. But they're going to be like, have you considered this? Have you thought of this? Have you done this? What if this happens? What if that happens? Are you sure this is going to be something you want to do? What if you never get your money back? Blah, 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 blah. It's going to go on forever and ever and ever. And then what's going to happen is they just planted a seed into your garden that will sprout. I promise you it will sprout. The first time I tried making Dare Blue was completely uphanded because the first video I made was totally incoherent. I showed it to a friend. They were like, I like it because I like your personality, but other than that, dude, I don't know what the heck just happened. And for some reason, it derailed me for 8 months. I completely scrapped everything. because I was like, yeah, you're right, I also don't know what's going on with it, which might be a good thing. You know, it's all hindsight at that point, but in the moment I didn't see it that way, right? All I saw was me spending day after day after day wanting to start my journey, wanting to start this, wanting to do it, but just not doing it. Until eventually, I literally grabbed my camera. I was like, I'm just gonna do it on golf. It's the only thing that no matter what's happened since COVID started, I haven't given up on it. And I started my video with my stupid sweatpants and all. This is not much different than that. And hopefully as I get some more experience and things, this random outfit assortment is gonna sort itself out. But ultimately what I'm trying to tell you is keep the idea hidden until you show it to the world. Once it becomes public and you've actually started to propagate it out into the world, what I suggest at that point is to then take all feedback that comes to you, because anybody who gives you feedback is literally giving you a secret glimpse into how they see the world, right? So for content creators like myself, I show someone a video and they're like, oh, you talk too much. Well, obviously I didn't do a very good job on this video, but I promise you moving forward I will, right? The first video was just too long and my metrics showed that. I think it only had like a 20 or a 13% retention rate for the entire video. It's horrible. It's gonna get worked on though. Second video I think had a 30% retention rate, which is great. This one's probably gonna have a 32% retention rate, which is great, given the trending, you know, the trend, right? We're going up. As long as we're going up, we're going good. That's how I see it. If I can get 110 views on this, be pretty damn good. That's twice as much as my last video. And the cool thing is, as you watch this, right, if I'm expecting 110 views, you go down there and you see like 600, maybe I'm onto something here. I challenge you to see if I am, because I promise you that I am. This is a tremendous amount of effort, energy, and time invested into giving you the literal bare bones of what I wish I could have told myself back then and just started getting on with it. Because if that was the case, I'd probably have at least 1,000 subscribers by now. And if I had that, then I could monetize these videos, and then that'd be freaking sick. I'd have a whole team behind me, and then it just all just keeps going and going and going. And that's gonna happen. It's just when, you know? I don't know. It's not up to me. Just like it's not up to you to win. Just focus on the why. And I think that pretty much covers everything. If you liked this video, I would love to make a second video. I challenge you to just take the first step. If you need anything from me, subscribe to my channel, watch my journey, watch my growth, make the assumptions for yourself, but I promise you I'm going to document that this does work, because I've already seen it work in other parts of my life. I just have to put it into YouTube, and we'll see what happens. I don't know, you don't know, but let's experiment together. While this is coming out though, please start your journey, and then we can talk about it in 6 months. You know, you can make a YouTube channel as well about it, post it, tag me in it, I don't know. I need to get some socials because I don't have any Instagrams or any of that stuff. I need to, if I'm trying to really be as big in the community as I'm trying to be. All things that need to happen, they will happen. We're digressing again, long-winded, whatever. It is what it is. Guys, I just want to thank you so much if you've made it this far. Please give me feedback on how I can make the next one better. And I hope you guys take the first step forward into the unknown with me, alongside me, and everyone else who's done the journey, and we find each other wherever that may take us, because who knows? We're not supposed to have an end. All right. I'll see you in the next video. I think it's going to be a really cool golf video. I think it's really interesting, actually. And I think it's going to attract people who don't even give a darn about golf, because this channel is growth-driven, not golf. So if you're interested, please subscribe. I'll see you next time.